I'll give
You're
us
the only
all the
observer.
little grey box,
Yep.
right? Yeah, may as well. We're waiting on 2 more people for each team, so it's fine. The stream's starting up now. Let me start writing out the announcement. Series 3? No, promo. If I edit this message...
REY are gonna destroy these guys.
Yep.
Just letting you know, it will not be close.
We know.
Junjun's him, bro.
I love Junjun. My man.
This
I'm lying.
roster's
I'm
kind
Malay.
of new, though.
What is?
This roster's kind of new, is it
Whose?
not? REY's. Is there not new players?
I think one. An idol's not meant to, not realistically here.
Idol's number 52 in the world, of course, bro. And he's 15.
What?
He's 15 years of age, and he's number 52 in the world.
He must have aged older now, because otherwise they wouldn't have used him. Ollie knows better.
Well, his hashtag is 15-year-old.
Yeah, I assume he's just lying. Ollie doesn't hire anybody or take anybody that's not over the age of 16. I'll look into it though after.
I'm not worried about it. It was just like an observation, you know what I mean?
I know, but technically now I do have to be worried about it just in case he actually is.
Oh, right, fair enough.
Control, paste. This is adding everybody again. How close am I to the delay being off? 55 seconds.
I believe everyone is here.
Yeah, same. Send the ping, everybody. Copy the link. Go to the chat. Stream starts in 40 seconds. Right. Just wait for stream to start, and then we can actually just get straight into the first game. I think you might be solo casting game 2. Yeah, you will be.
Okay. What are the maps?
What are the maps? Fracture first, then I forgot. So, you're welcome.
Well, I'll find out
for you, don't worry. It's right here. Fracture, then split, then unlikely we see Lotus, but anything's possible.
Okay.
I mean, Arctic almost brought a magic trick out the bag before when they actually did really well against what's their name? Yokai, compared to what everybody thought. They actually took a map, almost actually won the second game too. It was highly impressive, in my opinion. Yes. Right. Stream is up. Let's get everything fully sorted. Should be now. If I refresh this, my stream should actually be working, right? It is. Hello, everybody on Twitch. Welcome. REY versus Traditionals. A game could be short, could be quick. At least you'd expect it to be. So, we'll have to see how it plays out. Just waiting for them to be ready to actually start the game all together now. Just make sure they're all in their VCs as well.
The link?
They are not. The link's in your chat. You also need to be in the VC, guys. REY, that is. Silly boys. Not in their team VC. It's naughty. How dare they? Why'd I leave my coffee? Take over for a second. I need to find my coffee.
Okay. So, yeah, we have Traditionals versus REY today. So, I mean, Traditionals definitely look like the underdogs coming into it. Certainly in terms of rank and things like that. REY were the winners last time out, and they look pretty untouchable. So Traditionals have a lot of work ahead of them to go ahead and win this one out, but you know, we saw it yesterday with some underdog stories. I wonder if that will happen again today. So we have Fracture coming up as the first map, which means the second map is split, I believe. And yeah, certainly the favorites are REY. You would hope that they'll be able to close this out fairly cleanly in a composed fashion. Quick 2-0 will be what they are looking for. And traditionals have to try and upset that. So it's got to be a situation where traditionals come out playing something different, something that REY potentially hasn't scrimmed against. They're not prepped for, and that's really their best hope here. Definitely not a bad roster. I mean, I'm not discounting traditionals in any way. They are a very solid team, but you know, we just seen REY's caliber. So I think we're just gonna hop straight into that now, which will be good. It'll be interesting to see what the composition choices are here.
I am thinking REY will run their usual, where they run a fake comp. 2 duelists usually are put onto the play by them. They just whack on like a Reina, a Neon. REY is normally. It's how they played last season in RCS. And up to now, I think they have done similar in terms of the way they play this. So we'll have to see if they do still run that double duelist, which it looks like it could not be for the first time. Idol being Nade's replacement. Missing one of their star players arguably here, but will it truly make a difference against traditionals?
I mean, Idol's number 52 in the world, so if you're going to get a sub, probably the guy to go for, isn't he?
Definitely the guy to go for. I mean, Nade is also a great player. Very similar peaks in terms of the both of them. Not a large difference. So definitely a large difference in terms of experience, definitely. Both of them having that little gap. One more competitive experience, the other one more, you know, I guess how would you call it? Tiered experience compared to actual competitive ranked gameplay.
But yeah, well, I think traditionals, like, it's kind of the bare bones of that T7 roster. Certainly, I know Duval and I believe Aaron came from that Tilted 7 roster.
Yes.
And then it's kind of players built around that. So they're not bad. They have a lot of experience. We've seen them play in RCS before, and they certainly didn't look bad under traditionals. But now they're wearing a new banner, 3 new teammates. Traditionals, I think this is their debut, is it not, Sean? In RCS, I believe it is.
I think it is. Yes, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so I think we don't really know what to expect a great deal other than, scrim experience against them. So yeah, but looking at the comps, looks like traditionals have opted for a slightly more traditional Sentinel choice. Killjoy is not often the not often the meta pick here now, with Cypher and Vice available, and a Neon pick for the side of REY, which will definitely be interesting. Those fast-paced hits against a slightly outdated Sentinel choice. I wonder if it's going to be an easy affair for REY, or traditionals are going to reinvent the meta. That little bit of early utility thrown out towards that A main choke point, and now the drone comes out to clear that as well. They're starting to swing through here. Those REY players are getting active, but it's actually Idol who gets shut down by Eren there on the off angle. A little bit of chip damage tank there, but it's not the full death. However, Junjun wants blood, and he shuts down Smicklebear. There it is, 4 versus 4, but the damage in the favor of REY Esports. It's Gingy as well, who swings out to grab that extra pick, and now it's the 3 versus 4, the retake. This is not easy for Traditionals. It started so well with that early pick, but now the one way is in. The players are not in their favor, and they have to rewrite the story if they want to make it back onto this site here. The smokes come in over towards drop, and that cuts off one of the players, but it's Force who doesn't account for the timing. Gerby and Junjun, as well as Swung, pick up all of those 3 kills, and they close out a convincing win for REY, even after that first pick goes in the favor of Traditionals.
Just kind of what a great round from REY. That recovery off just falling one player down. Who was it on their side who died first as well? I think it was
Idol,
wasn't it? Yeah, their duelist. Not able to take that fast entry onto the site, but still finding waves in every single angle they could and taking advantage. Now, obviously, weapon advantage in hand on the side of REY. Still playing, waiting for these push-ups. Not allowing Traditionals to find a little gap at all on their defense, but they're taking space on the dish. It is pinged by the Cypher camera. They are known to be pushing. REY will react to this by what looks like a hit. Smokes, missiles used. 2 in tower caught. Will they die to the missiles? 1 will be caught. Gerby getting 1 with the missiles. Now having sight 3, but will he get competed? He will. Deval falling to idle with the Marshall. 1 found by Swung from under. Will a second be found? Missing his shots barely. Caught by idle. He finds a second, finds a third. He does not. Gingy closing it out with the Vandal. A really, really fast round on the side of REY. Shutting down Traditionals, even though they had quite a good pace, it seemed like, on that lurk through.
Yeah, and I mean, it was just an unfortunate case for the side of Traditionals. They chose to sack their players over towards Dish, but Swung, seemingly aware of the call there, just puts his utility and chose to sit on the south side with the rest of his team here. But now we're getting into the first gun round for the side of Traditionals up against those eco guns. You'd hope they're able to close out. It's that early utility once again to net them that orb and early space. A lot of utility, in fact, committed. They definitely want that. But Eren now quick to surrender it. So potentially now starting to get worried about the presence of REY there. And they do, in fact, re-clear that, but also opt to give it up. Even that heavy rotation. Look at all 4 players of Traditionals are stacked over towards the A site, but they've got the wrong read. It's Force left on his 1, just his utility surrounding him. And we made note of this Killjoy before we came into the game. Will it be enough to shut them down? Out comes the alarm bot, a nano, and the turrets all shut down, but it's Force trapped on site. In comes the Neon, and that Sheriff rings true. 1 gun shut down instantaneously for the side of Traditionals as REY looking to get proactive over towards there. It's War is the only one to fight back in any way. 2 found for him, but it's not enough. And 3 rounds secured. The eco even converted for the side of REY Esports. A fantastic start to their attacking campaign. And Traditionals don't seem to have the answer.
Oh, it's pretty much 2 hands, gun-wise, in the side of REY. They just had the Vandal on Gingy and the Guardian on Gerby, but they're still able to find every conversion possible, even with the Sheriff on idle, finding 1 from the tower. These gaps now being spotted without the Vice or the Cypher, just free entry through the arcade for REY. Now, Traditionals on another low buy, waiting for a push-up, not allowing them to take any free fights, clearing the space. Knows nobody's swinging, nobody's fighting for this A. While taking contact on the drone, barely breaking it in time. Nade used to push them back. Eren swinging, doesn't find 1, gets body blocks unfortunately. Idle picking 1 off and falling. Going back towards the B, where the Killjoy is set up, but only with a nano swarm on the main and an alarm bot in the arcade. Will he be able to do anything here? Even getting 1 could change everything, but Swung finds 1 with the Outlaw. Deep in spawn. Nano Swarm delays them. Stunned, but they do fall back again. Another rotate into the A that is being cleared by Gingy. A fully open site from Traditionals, not reading into another rotate in the same round.
Right here.
Gingy taking really aggressive space. He finds 1. Will he find a second? He does not. Deval shutting him down and being shut back down by idle. Gerby getting 1. Still on the B. Every little crevice opened by REY rotates throughout the entire round, not letting anything slip under and through their fingers.
It's such a nice approach from REY here. They're working and needing that map so beautifully. A little bit of presence over towards door where they pick up the first pick. Instantaneous rotate back to B, and they still have a minute on the clock. They draw all of those rotates over, but that Brim stays. He's embedded over towards the A site, and then they are able to go back and find all of that open space, even getting aggressive towards spawn. They don't seem to be stopping anytime soon here, and looking at that heavy B presence, now they do actually choose to place the Cypher over towards north side, but of course Gingy and friends are over to support. The noise clearly heard from Swung as he's notified them that those players are getting aggressive over towards him, and that fight coming through from Gingy is so very good. Just the 3 players left, and it would have to be individual brilliance from Smicklebear. One found for him to start it out, and that's brilliant. Even manages to dissuade the planter of Junjun there, as he's going to be forced into that middle of sight. But look at Swung. He's starting to creep up. He might look to catch a timing off the flash. It's a few whiffed shots, but he's still looking to get aggressive. Smicklebear wins it out though, and he's the one who's actually turning this round all on its head. Force goes 1 for 1 here. Gingy shut down. It's just that player, Junjun, so low, but he's putting in so much work. Finally closed out by Duval, and he's still got a bit of time, but it's still Gerby. He's got that ult. He's got those missiles. He's going to throw them off the tap here now as he starts to work his way round towards the main side. Even that ult coming in, surely he's looking to stick it, but that will not be allowed. Gerby wins out on his one. That Teho looking so powerful in the composition, and a closer round for Traditionals, but still not one they were able to close out.
How is Junjun getting away with that though, man? Almost 3 kills on 10 HP. Feels relatively impossible to get away with, but he proved himself again. And they're messing about in... okay, how fun. Now, I think it is another low buy again. No, half buy actually on the side of Traditionals. Trying to force up a little bit of weaponry. Trying to see if they can actually force a round through here. Down 0-5 against them. 2 ults in play though. Brim and Razel. Ray's being alone on this B now. With the Judge and Tower peeking out, jiggling for information. Cypher actually playing towards and into this dish now. Pushing up on the side behind Eren. Eren not hit by any form of util. Will he swing into this Vandal? He will. He doesn't find the kill. But he doesn't again with the rocket too. Wasted, getting no real value out of it. Now on the retake for Traditionals, Gingy finding one. Will he find a second? Junjun does. Gingy damage done to Gua. Ray is still in the tower. Eren with the Judge. Junjun finding Gua again. Deval getting one himself. 2 from Deval on Jen, but Idol shutting him down. 1v3. Stuck in tower here. They know he is here, pinching him now from both sides. He is stuck. He is subject to the Neon stun. Getting the info. Stunned again. He finds one. Will he find a second? And will he have enough time to even win the round? Damage dealt. Pushing. Killed by Swung. Unable to get any value in that tower. Sat there the entire round. From 5 players live on his side to all 5 dead. Nothing. Timeout on the side of Traditionals. What do you think needs to change here, though?
I really just think that these rotates are coming across way too fast for the side of Traditionals, and potentially a composition flaw. This is what I was saying about the Killjoy. You're not able to maintain that position so well because they don't have the global utility like a Vice, like a Cypher. And a lot of times, you know, we see teams getting proactive to get some information on the defensive side of B. Where they try and insert a camera on the Cypher. Certainly we saw Foot do that a lot, but they don't seem to be looking to get info. You know, they do the A-take, and they've clearly seen a playbook once or twice, but they don't seem to understand the concepts behind it. Once you have that orb, you need to maintain the space. You need to leave a player embedded and use that space that you've gained by throwing all of that utility, and they're just not. They go in there, they get the orb, they leave, and then REY are able to just come through, re-clear all of this with like 1 Teho drone or something like that, and just take all of that space right back, no contest. And for Traditionals, yeah, I mean,
Traditionals, I don't see it being valued. Like, they don't drone anywhere from what I've seen, and, you know, take that space up, claim it. That's what they need to start doing, because they don't have a lot of map control with the Killjoy. They have kind of a delay for a few seconds, that's all, but REY are playing around it perfectly.
It's a gun round though, and they've just had a timeout, so anything is possible. We could see a changed traditionals here. Still not the full shields. Obviously, REY are mounting a bit of an economical masterclass here. Huge money in the banks for them, as it looks like REY with this fast posture coming out over towards the side. 1-for-1 here as Force manages to find one, but Gingy putting in huge work as we do end up at a 3 versus 3. It looks like we have Gerby positioned over towards the top there, and Swung has got so aggressive into the spawn. He's found another as well. Duval quick to trade it back onto Gerby though. That's going to be massive. It's actually the A site completely cracked open for the side of REY, and a 2 versus 2 retake. The breach ult in hand. Junjun getting active, but manages to make his way all the way up towards drop here. He tucks in the corner, but it's read out by the side of traditionals. Still, he's able to posture there, and they don't seem to be aware. They've thrown that utility, but now they don't know. They've crossed. Actually, Duval manages to find out the first pick, but that bomb is planted wide in the open. Surely Smicklebear is going to get shut down. Still the breach ult in hand as well, as he looks like he was posturing to take it. Junjun's playing this to perfection. Finds the player on the bomb, manages to get it partially defused, but Junjun shuts them all down, and without need for any of that breach utility that I was referring to, he just closes it out in its entirety.
Not only did the breach and Brimalt not get any combination value because they played forwards, but it put Junjun into that drop instantly, giving him cover and like the ability to make that play quite flawlessly. Kind of accidentally handing them better positioning than they had before the breach ult. Now again, another buy up. Lower light shields on the side of traditionals though. The smoke used again, not actually taking this space due to the lack of a neon. Not able to get out freely. Pre-sold towards this A, smoke used, REY's pushing into it. Eren is damaged heavily, stunner missiles used. Gingy still finding a kill though, despite this util used. What interaction just happened there? Breach. Sminklebear is finding Junjun there. That is spike information grabbed. They do fall though, not able to keep control of it due to how deep it is into lost sight space that they no longer have. Planting now.
I know exactly.
Ult in hand for the Neon and the Brimstone on the side of REY here. Smicklebear finding Gingy. That's Brim ult down. A 3v4 for REY. Cypher low. The ult also giving great information though. AOL in hand, ready to be popped, I assume, on the side. This will find Idol. Stun comes through. It does stun Idol. Barely. He misses it, but this ult still takes him. 2 in main. Swan finding 1. Will he find a second? He will not. Showing him down. Missiles used. Not able to stick. Force pushing up. Will he be found? He is. Gerby getting 1. Almost getting a second. Gets the second. Not able to find the third. Onto traditionals. Finally taking the first round for them. Lots of ults used on both teams there, but REY still keeping kind of the more powerful ults for momentum in their hands. Traditionals now left with just a killjoy ult. How will it be usable? Their retakes are hard enough, and with a Brim ult on the side of REY, it will just be shut down.
And it would have to be a Brazil, wouldn't it? 7-1 scoreline comes out here in the game that we have going today, but a little bit of life for traditionals there. They don't look completely out of this game, managing to find that round, and it just looked like the individual started to come alive there for a moment. Smicklebear with 2 on the round, which really changed the trajectory of it entirely. But now the eco guns are forced out, and it's still REY with that monster economy as they're able to start scaling up here, walking into that killjoy utility. The Bucky comes out for some big value as Force is positioned too close. Duval also a shotgun in hand. But as the dust settles, it's a 4 versus 3. Idol playing very aggressively here, and it's swung also on the timing. Eren, though, that judge has found 2 kills this round. Idol gets 1, but Smicklebear fast to trade it out. Swung on the flank, though, and that looks like that will be all she wrote. Eren with a lot to do here, as they are so disciplined here, aware that he's not going to stick on the first tap. Swung contacts him there. It's low bullets in the gun as he starts to swing out, crossing all the way, just ticking that time away. It starts to drip from the hourglass. The spam through the box is perfect. And although Eren manages to get half onto that bomb, it's so well done from REY here, as Swung has just been finding phenomenal value on that lurk. Almost every single time he's able to walk up into that A space and find 1 or 2 picks. They leave it open every single time, and that's a big problem for traditionals.
Showing you the weakness there of the Killjoy. Every single lurk is doable by Swung unless traditionals just sacrifice an entire player onto the flank, which they can't do with the players they're against here. Now Killjoy on the B again, nothing in hand, a full eco pretty much by the side of traditionals. Just Killjoy in play again still, but Brimult still alive for the turret takes contact. They will know. Swung walking up. Force behind the box. Will Force swinging, get timing, he will! What a shot from Force! Falling back now. Knowing they have a gun in play, knowing the Killjoy is towards this B, knowing that there's probably more than one here due to the position he played. Very risky spot, but high reward just gained. Grim, crossing zipline, going towards the disc, which is held by the Rays. Will Rays connect the Sheriff shot? He needs to connect, he does not, he misses once. Does body shot him though. Scaling through the A main at the same time though. Rays stunned, Rays nades. Stunned again by the Neon. Gingy moving. Smicklebear finds one, Eren finds one, Duval finds one, what is going on? An eco on the side of traditionals, 4 alive. Kirby in a 1v4 here. A lot of util alive, this is winnable for him. The spray not connecting with anybody. 33 bullets left in the chamber, 13 active. 2 on site. Spray still not connecting. Him getting connected by their spray though. 36 HP and a dream. Left. A lost round to REY, it looks like. A miracle will be needed to take this round. They know he's in this corner, I think. Brim holding it. 1 bullet needs to connect, and he connects it. What a conversion from traditionals. An amazing round to take on their eco, finding picks everywhere. Even finding, for once, a lurk from both Swung and Gingy. What is going on there?
Yeah, so, I mean, for me, this is exactly kind of what I preempted. They're starting to get aggressive towards those sides of the map, and I was talking about getting aggressive over towards elbow there. Looks like that actually paid off for them in a major way, and almost calamity for the side of REY, losing to those lighter guns. As they just look to reset, they look to scale back up towards the B site. It's going to be Smicklebear to take contact here. That flash already used there finds out the danger of his situation, as stunned and seemingly hit by all of the util, but able to find one throughout all the chaos. Managing a little bit more damage there, but that will be all he's able to get. 3 versus 3 damage in the favor of traditionals, and in fact a pick onto Gingy as well. There's that Razor invested as they're able to start scaling up towards the site here. Gains control of this bomb, and they're able to start the defuse. They know where these players are positioned. Surely that Tehu ult comes in to draw out the time a bit more, and it's actually Swung who's looking to be the hero for REY Esports here. The time is ticking away, but Force is actually able to find the pick. Swung is swinging out. Surely he won't be able to find the connection. Force the hero. 2 on the round for him, and it's a 3rd picked up for traditionals. They are looking to make a game of this, and they are not happy to bow down and submit just yet. REY seemingly in more trouble than we first thought.
Oh, you see on the side of REY here, 3 ults still in play, obviously none close. And you can also compare it to traditionals. Pretty much the same ults in play, the Brim, the Breach on both sides. Tay will actually gettable for traditionals in this round. Gerby's ult is lost, unable to be gotten on this half. They have to play it without as much KO utility as they have. Spike being tossed around like a rugby ball here. Pivoting, knowing the B push up occurs. Killjoy taking initiative, placing a deep alarm, but this is good. Good replacement for that Cypher Trip being lost. They take that. Nade stops the entry. 3 still towards the side of B here though. Trying to catch off Swung, I think, but he isn't lurking for once. Dungeon up in a great position on Heaven, not sure how he got there. Quite unclearable kind of here. 3 on the flank though. Looks like he's trying to swing into the Rays. Will he kill Eren? He will. Junjun getting one. Gerby getting another. Rachel used to counter Brimmel from both sides in the main. What is going on? 2 ults popped here. Nothing found. 18 HP. Deval finds one. Smicklebear finds the other. Kwong is being played out. Stunned. Not find a connection with his bullets. Gingy has to take both on here on the main with a stun available from his teammate, though. How will Gingy and Junjun play this? 1 found. 2 found. REY is still winning the round. A lot of ults used on one space for no kills to be found. Probably shocking for both sides, but the Brimmel and the breach ult from both sides being enough of a delay to completely halt the speed of that round, forcing REY to kind of take the free win in that round there.
And now, Sean, I put the question to you. Do you believe in the 9-3 curse? We know Fracture is a very attack-sided map here, and Traditionals didn't look entirely dead in the water. Still, plenty of storyline to be found here. It's 9-3, and REY looked fallible. It wasn't a complete sweep. It wasn't absolute demolition. Still shooters on the side of Traditionals. Duval and Smicklebear, notably the ones firing on all cylinders. And now I'll be interested to see what the playbook looks like on the defensive side of Fracture for REY Esports. The 3 players are stacked over towards B here. It's a bit of a double hold over towards that elbow side.
Util on the A, though.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about, that global utility. It's able to go anywhere on the map. Look, swung, positioned over towards that top heaven, but it doesn't matter. Those Cypher trips are still over towards A, and in fact, it looks like Traditionals have the wrong read. They're starting to walk into that
Cypher trip, and that's why
the stack is coming through. Gingy finds 2, but that's all it'll be. 2 for 2 here, and that 3 versus 3 is what this round develops into. Duval starting to scale up. Surely he finds Swung, but it's swift shots, and Swung, so good as an individual, he's able to shut down 2. The damage done is just Junjun, who is the last remaining full HP player, and I say that, but he's ticked down by the Roomba. Eren now left in that 1 versus 2. Still 35 seconds left on that clock as he starts to scale all the way up there. Jiggled by Junjun. He manages to recover that bomb, but surely this is a hard one to win. The flash comes through, a little missed shot there, and surely the bullets are running low. It doesn't matter. Junjun just so confident. These REY Esports players, they do not want to make this a long series, and Junjun is leading that charge. 12-5, fantastic day out for him here as he manages to close out that pistol with some excellent individual brilliance.
Like we were saying with that Cypher trip, that drone just goes up, finds it. They call the B hit saying Cypher's A. They're just completely incorrect though. REY, knowing that this information can easily be found by the Teo, using it to their advantage, obviously also putting the weak amount of players on the site that Cypher util was on, because they put 3 towards the B, but now Neon swinging into A. Will be able to find big. Eren getting scathed by the bullet, found by Idol. Force back, Force on 5 HP, War also low. All 3 that were on that main low. Smith barely on with full HP, finding Gerby. Outlook found for them, but Idol a second kill with this Marshall, found in great value. Will he find a 3rd from this angle though? Looks like he might. Swings, Force, misses the bullet. Misses again, unfortunate. Gingy swinging, getting one with the Guardian. Will he get a 2nd? He will. Idol getting the 3rd. Wow. Just a 2v5 on the side of Idol and Gingy, it feels like there. 1 falling on the side of REY, but in reality, it just did not matter.
Yeah, I think for REY, dinner is on and they need to get this one closed out quickly. 11-3, only 1 gun dropped on that eco round for Traditionals. Sorry, I should say the buy round for REY because it was the 1 gun drop for them. But yeah, just looks really calm and composed for REY Esports. 2 rounds to get. Yeah, that's not good at all, is it? 3 Sheriffs, a Bulldog, and a Stinger, all that they're able to buy out. They chose to Force in that last round and didn't seem to get much value at all. This one looks dead in the water. Smicklebear trying to rewrite the story. In fact, it's Force who finds one with the Sheriff here. A great start, but look at all of that space that REY have taken, and Idol is making use of that. Fantastic shots from him and from Junjun. Amazing 2K with the Guardian there as it's just Duval trapped in Storm, shut out and shut down. 3 on the round for Junjun, and it's the 12th round secured here for REY. They're ready to shut this
in the
one out.
9-3 curse now, huh? That's the true question. Will it happen? Will there be pretty much 10-11 round comeback unless it goes into a deep OT? I just don't see it happening here. It just feels like such a reach away. Traditionals still on a light shield spy with 3 ops on the side of REY. No ult, but just kind of wanting to take the peak. Idol does find one with it. Will he re-swing on the Neon? He will. He is re-swinging. No one swinging. Pushing up on the flank. Another up in hand on Junjun. Gingy finding one. Gingy finding another. Idol, another. 1v5 for Smirkle Bear, but will Gingy find another? I think he will. Blind not on the breach. He peeks out the cage. Gingy, a psychopath. Shot's not connected. Smirkle Bear still finding the kill. Gingy falling. Gerby running up with a judge. What is this playing? He gets the kill. What a stupid round from REY. But
it's the Jeff Bezos purchase here. Just buy all of the expensive guns and win it out 3 ops. My, that's off meta if I ever saw it, but it does end up working for them. What a game to start it out. REY looked phenomenal. Traditionals didn't look completely destroyed there, managing to pick up 3 rounds, but yeah, pretty clinical for REY. Sean, your thoughts?
There isn't any. It just lived up to my expectations is what I can say. I kind of, there can always be that hope you can have for a team. Traditional is obviously very much the underdogs, very little people believing in them, and then sadly performing to expectations is all I can say. Not able to find more than 3 rounds. 2 of those rounds, I'm pretty sure, where multiple ults were used. It was just a kind of what they had in hand forced REY to lose on a lot of those situations. Even on their 4 subs on the second round, only finding 1 and then getting shut down by 2 people with very little util used by both. Only 1 stun connecting, but not even a kill found off of it. Like, it was just how you kind of expect REY to play, right?
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about what they did in the previous tournament, and that looks to carry on even with a substitute player coming in. But we hop straight into Split, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Sean, I am solo casting this one, or has that changed?
I think I'm going to take both the pistols if you don't mind. I still want to dabble in a bit, but yes, I will have to observe here. So still want to, glaze REY a little bit because, I do love Ollie truly, and a little bit of glaze doesn't hurt nobody. It is fun to cast in the mix as well, and obviously Ollie, the man that he is, I don't want to disappoint with my observing, so obviously not going to take too many rounds where I cast because I need to focus on getting that camera in the right position, the right place, finding the right players, which weren't always found last game by a certain somebody, let's say. Not to shoot any shots here at... Maybe not you, maybe a different...
We already had the RCS Vec diss track wars, but potentially there's internal RCS diss tracks incoming. Watch out, Sean. REY will be writing this evening, and you will be receiving one.
Again. That is just hilarious.
I'm the pioneer, so you can't send smoke for me. I'm the founding father of the diss tracks here. But yeah. I would like to see Sean. What material have we been cooking up? Are you sending for REY? Can we get a sneak?
I don't think I can leak any diss tracks again yet. I mean, actually, let's just say I plead the 5th. I don't have to say anything here.
Fantastic. Good call. Good call.
Keep it shut away. We might reveal it someday. Who knows?
Who knows? That's the art of it, really. REY will never know when it's coming, but when it does, it's over for her. So yeah, back to the game though. It's just the players who are looking to get ready and be ready for that. But yeah, Split. As we know, another very attacking sided map here. Similar to the way Fracture is played, you look to get the majority of your rounds on that attack side and then just Oh, sorry. I tell a lie. It's the other way around, isn't it? It's a defender-sided map. It's pretty hard to attack. It's the opposite of fracture.
It is.
So yeah, you need to try and get those rounds on defense.
Oh,
And yeah, so it is Ray who's starting on defense again. Once again, starting on the stronger side of the map. And that's an interesting call from traditionals. You know, often people like to start on the strong side of the map, but when they were picking their sides, they went, "Oh yeah, let's go attack." So interesting. Any thoughts on that, Sean?
maybe they have something cooking. You never know. I'm not gonna say they do or they don't, because I do not personally know. But maybe they have something up their sleeve, a hidden ace, a hidden little card that no one will expect. But so could Ray. Ray have run, like I said, these fake comps in the past. Last one not being a fake comp, but they do enjoy running some double duelist psycho rundown comps just because of their aim, and just it's just kind of, you don't know what could come out here. They won first map 13-3. They know they're out aiming them. Will they push into a non-default comp, or will they just play it out and just try to sweep with their usual comps? It depends. Obviously, also having the advantage of having a coach to help them in those, the pistols, the half splits, even the timeouts, even though they didn't take any last time. Coach not really having as much impact as could have happened, but I think, if I'm not incorrect, if I had any of these guys added, I don't think I do. I think Ray took both pistols, obviously. Wouldn't be
Yeah.
a surprise if they did. So clearly, that coach probably putting in some work. So, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you're talking about double duelist here. If you're going to do it on any map, split is the one to do it. Even in VCT, we see a lot of Yuru, a lot of Rays played together on this map, where that Yuru sort of transitions into a more flash initiator role. You can play him in multiple ways, and that's the beauty of the agent. That's why he's picked so often within the scene. And yeah, I would hope to see if it's going to be a double duelist comp, potentially a Euro raise here. And another thing that I would like, if we could get a deadlock, that would be amazing. I'd love to see a
Deadlock would be
deadlock.
something fun to be in play.
I love deadlock, especially on this map. She's been picked in VCT, but not a great deal
Hey,
after those GravNet changes.
you'd love
After
my team
those
comps I
GravNet
force my teams to
changes.
run. I
Those
force all of my
GravNet
teams.
changes that
They're
kind
insane.
of revamped the meta. 40 seconds recharge on what's potentially considered as top 3 pieces of utility in the entire game.
Hear me out on this one, right? Deadlock, Teo Breach, Jet, Omen on Ascent. That's what I run. I told you, look, on the side of Ray, I don't know if this is a joke, but this could be something they do. They do like to do this fun stuff.
He's
Two
not
on the
Viper.
duelist.
Oh,
And I
thank
feel
God,
like
I
it
nearly
could
had a
happen.
heart attack. If we saw Arena, I would have logged off.
Ray's Yori, this is so doable. This is a comp run by other teams,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, right?
I
Is it
told
like-
you. Oh my God, I have the soul reads today, don't I? Fantastic. No deadlock though, so I'm gonna go and cry myself to sleep. But still, it's very good. Traditionals opting for the more the default, or I should say the modern default now. There's these hyper modern ideas with Teho Breach, and obviously Cypher has always been pretty strong on this map. But yeah, the notable one is Ray, because they've gone for that double duelist comp, and they're looking to run that Euro, I'd imagine, like a sort of initiator duelist hybrid. And they don't even go for a sentinel here, they in fact opt for the Viper. So better clear your flanks here, Ray. Definitely something to be concerned about.
The Breach Teo Ray is still a good combination for traditionals, probably able to find good value. Something I saw yesterday on the last game I streamed was things like, the Deadlock Rage normally do like combos with a util, but I saw yesterday Breach Stun, Raise Nade, Vice Thorn combos, forcing somebody to stay stuck and just getting the free kill yesterday. There's so many different ways to play without that Deadlock. Like, I think Vice is still in this meta, but obviously
Absolutely
not as important to this round, which I'll get straight into. Looking like Raze is teaching Gingy an orb lineup to land perfectly on middle. Interesting to do mid-game, but, we roll with it. REY know what they're doing. They did just 13-3, so we'll have to see.
It's important to note that we do have substitutes in for REY, so not
Only
even the
Idol,
full roster.
Idol.
Yeah, it's Idol. But I don't know, does Gingy usually play the Viper?
I'm not actually sure, because this is their first game I've been able to properly see, so... It's fast mid. Outside of Scissors. REY getting one. Finding one with the Doombot from Helen, though. Unfortunate. Gingy falling. B site. Possibly called to have been claimed, but this Omen Smoke kind of giving it away here. Duval on tower. As you can see, Idol walking up onto Duval. Will Duval find the pit? Still not. Idol finding one. Swung finding the other.
Spike down, B.
Oh, last one alive in main. Blinded. Isn't able to find the pit. We'll take it from here then for the rest of these 11 rounds.
For sure. Yeah, so switching over now, an explosive pistol from Traditionals that netted them a couple of picks, but not the round win in the end. So it's going to be REY going for that buy here. Interesting, they've opted for a Judge and an Outlaw here, so instantly trying to get the shotgun and the sniper involved in that mix. Even a double sniper as Idol chooses to pick up that Marshall. And Traditionals look set on a fast A-take here. They start by actually falling back because out come the early Teho missiles. Happy to get that rechargeable util used out nice and early so it can come back later into the round. It's in fact Gingy who gets himself inserted towards that mid-box position. That orb is such a standard within this meta. It's often used in every single round of a defensive half because of how much value it can find. Traditionals, they're just prodding, they're just poking around to find out where these players are positioned. I'm sure they're aware, no doubt, of the possibility that Gingy could be there. And that double shotgun combination is going to be absolutely lethal if you walk into it. Gingy even showing ahead. A little bit of damage chipped onto him, but it's actually Jinjin who finds the first blood. 45 seconds left on this round as they start to scale up over towards A. However, that mid push is coming in so quickly over towards sewers. And it's just actually Gingy who's making a lot of noise, hopping over. He's so aggressive here, and surely he's going to get caught out. Actually gets pincered, I should say. An overstep out from the side of REY. And it just looks like they were having fun there because he hopped about all the way. But no time. Look at this, Traditionals. You have to move fast. 15 seconds left on the clock. There's no way they can make it to site, surely. As that bomb is going up mid at a huge rate. 6 seconds left on Gerby, picks down 2. He's going to try and stick the bomb, but it's Junjun who rounds it out with another 2 picks. 3 picked up for him, and the second round secured. Only 1 dropped, and that was the judge of Gingy. Now, though, it's the buy round. It's what Traditionals have been working towards. They knew that they were likely to lose that second round, but this is where the fun begins. On Fracture, both times they ended up losing out that gun round to the eco of REY, and it's not even the strongest for them here. Spectres, Marshals, a Bucky, not the ideal guns that you would want. Surely Traditionals are going to be able to find a way to win out this round and manage to pick up their first nice and early coming into this. It's the Boombot that gives away the position. Duval shut down. Eren trades it 1-for-1, but Junjun looks to tip it in the side, to the side of REY Esports here. 4-3 in terms of numbers, and Gerby, even with the option to pick up that Vandal just in front of him, still choosing to go for the judge. Junjun looks so good on this Outlaw here. He's able to pick up his second in the round. Kwa manages to find one, but that's all it'll be. Idol, a pop flash, and look at that from Gerby. Fantastic movement as he hops his way over and secures another third round. It's not just been every single pistol that Traditionals have lost, but unfortunately, it's been every single buy round that follows after the eco round save. 3 rounds here for REY. Another look to reset though. They're still happy playing into that default. And for Traditionals, a change needs to happen. We've seen their looks over towards mid, and unfortunately they've been walking into the close range guns time and time again. It is actually the A posture which they look to go for here. Duval TPing up onto that high ground. It's just Idol who's holding the cross. He's playing so aggressive towards that CT position. Happy to just sit and watch, go for a little bit of spam. But Junjun inserted, and now what we can see but they can't, unfortunately, is they're going to be walking straight into that stack. And in fact, the judge of GNG, Idol, follows up with a 2, and this just looks like desperation here for Traditionals. Only able to find the 1, and it's Smicklebear who's able to pick up 1 with the Stinger as well, but a 3 versus 1, this would be a tall order, and that is all she wrote. The 4th round secured, and surely this has to warrant a timeout sooner or later. You know, I talked about how Split is difficult to attack on with those closed choke points, and especially with the Viper. But come on, they have no Sentinel. These guys are postured for an attacking composition. You have to start winning out some rounds, and potentially this is the round to do it. Traditionals, they have rifles in hand, only a couple of ult orbs before we start to see the Teho, the REYs, get their ultimates online and start to make this thing a whole lot more winnable. The drone is coming out over towards mid, but a quick shutdown from Gingy as he's able to close that one out. It's a little bit of space taken here for Traditionals as Duval wants to get ultra confident, TPing over towards that smoke, but he thinks better of it. And there goes the Roomba in to clear that space out as well. They are so focused on taking this space over towards mid, but potentially it's not going to pay off. And for Force, that gunfight against Idol, who, can I remind you, is the number 52 Radiant in the world right now, is not going to pay off. Unfortunate start for him, and it just looks so clean and composed from REY here. They don't seem to have a fault or a way for Traditionals to make it through their mid-hold. 3 players stacked up here, and they're just ready to fight out of the posture. In goes that Breach and that Teho util. Gerby able to survive on a slither of HP, but it's Hua and Duval who respond back in kind. 4 versus 3 here, and they're starting to make this thing look a whole lot more winnable. Eren is scaling up towards there. Idol even closed out. And I was talking about how good he's been in ranked, but how good can he be in the match today? It's a 3 versus 1 for Junjun. He's able to cut it down to a 2 versus 1. Make it seem like I misspoke. And this man has been so good. 1 found with the Teho, and it's the 3rd. Take a bow, young man. Just putting up huge numbers for Junjun. 10-0 this game, and that's a wonderful 3K clutch.
How does he get away with such plays? He was seen by the Breach on tower, surely, or the Teo even, but they clearly didn't commit. He found the Breach. How does he get away with these things? Junjun.
You can't complain if you're dead.
Demolition for REY. They just look totally in the driving seat here, and it's going to be an awkward buy for Traditionals. A Sheriff, a couple of rifles forced out. It's talking about those ults. Well, they've managed to get them online, but will it be enough? It's in fact a Stinger and a Judge as well for Eren. In fact, a Bucky, some last minute decisions made there. And in fact, the critical thing is Gerby is back on that operator. We know he can be an absolute villain with that as Gingy. He's getting so confident. He's happy to just swing through that Viper molly, no problems at all. Even dodges the flash and makes Smicklebear look like he's running to his demise. He's getting so aggressive here. Look, Hua shut down. 3 on the round. A fat snipe as he flicks onto Duval. 4 found, and it's Force, the only remaining member of Traditionals. REY are so confident in their ability this game, and Idol shows why. 6 on the board, and that desperation Force is absolutely mowed down by a Gingy 4K as he just walks down mid and goes, can anybody defeat me? A timeout taken for Traditionals, and you can see why.
How has he done that? What is going on this side? How is Traditionals finding nothing anywhere? A 4K on the mid, just peeking out. Kind of Eren just being too wide. So the drone isn't able to actually get the info quick enough, so he falls. Now on like another weird buy for Traditionals, just round after round after round, they're trying to do forces to win a round and they're just not able to. and they're just falling because of it. They're losing rounds. 10-0 Junjun still. 6-6 Gingy. A lot of deaths, but you've seen its gameplay. It's kind of just running it down for the fun of it here.
Yeah, I mean, if you're traditionals, there needs to be a big change here. We've seen them go for that mid posture time and time again, and they can't force them off of those angles. They know that a player is going towards that box position. Surely you have to start investing the Teho util, the Raise Nade, the Breach, Aftershock, anything to clear the player out there and then go for a little bit of spam, but they just don't seem to find the adjustment. That timeout needed to be taken, and in my opinion, it needed to be taken earlier than this. Now down 6-0, and REY just looked to be farming. We saw what Gingy did that last round, and it's just been disgusting from them. But now, doesn't look like a huge change for REY here. They've positioned 3 over towards that A, and look at Gingy, he's so confident, he's just waltzing down mid, because they're giving it to him. And none of that space is taken. Traditionals now posturing out towards here. It's Gerby who shuts down Eren in that Razor, but force a quick trade back with the Sheriff. It's 4 versus 4. Still the gun's not in favor for Traditionals here. And it's just a Bulldog and 2 Sheriffs. A judge in hand for Smicklebear. And they're really going to struggle here, you would think. But they've doubled up. That drone is coming out to clear out the CT space, but surely Duval is noted. Forces as well, and Gingy just looks to be firing on all cylinders here. Swung closes out Hua, and Idol. It's a swift and just disgusting way to close it out. The utility is perfect for REY here, and Traditionals don't seem to have the answer even after taking that timeout. At least for them, the money is not entirely broken for this next up-and-coming round. And do we see a Brazil scoreline again? I hope so. Looks like the REY players are doing they're doing a ritual in spawn. Okay.
I'm here for this round. I'm here for this
They're,
round. I'm here for it.
Okay. Sure, we can do that too, I guess. Traditionals on a big chance here. Swung. Just so aggressive, he gets one fully blind. Oh my. 2 found, and it's Gingy to shut down another 2 in that mid-brawl. Every single round, time and time again. REY just looked to absolutely demolish Traditionals. Any desperation hope of them trying to get around here, it's going to be 8 on the board here for REY, unless Force were to pull off an absolute miracle. He's been good this game, but surely this is too much to ask of one man. A minute on the clock, so at least he has that in his favor. But Gingy is standing in the open with his knife out and somehow pulls out his rifle and actually wins out the damage battle onto Force. Look at this, Gerby. Oh my goodness, Force has managed to find that one, but he's stunned. Oh my goodness, Force really making a go of it there. REY were not expecting that they'll be able to save the op, but a little bit of economical damage and some stat padding for Traditionals at least. Force managed to find 3.
Gingy on the mid, man. What is he doing? He's just flicking around, just kind of mocking Traditionals at this point. It's just a word I can't say that ends in show. So.
Yeah, it certainly does look that way, and we know how much REY to love to win out that mental game, and that's certainly what they're going for here. They're going, look, we can do anything and just absolutely demolish you anyway. Gingy looking to invest that early Viper spit, but it's Duval to try and disrespect that one. He's positioned over towards that mid, and he's managed to slip the net, I believe. That Stinger in hand. He's actually the one with the weakest gun, but surely he would find the timing onto Gingy if he walked back in. Force also on the other side of the map, able to shut down Swung. But there is that man, Gingy, who I was referencing earlier. It's actually the Cypher ult invested as well. Oh, Traditionals as Duval going on a wonder, but it doesn't seem to matter because Force and Hua, they've managed to turn the numbers on their head, and it's just going to be a big brawl over towards Idol here. They have to win this one out, and they do. Now, it's a big task ahead of Gerby to keep the 13-0 dreams alive. Still a Raise Rook in hand, but it's that op which potentially isn't the best thing for the retake. He chooses to invest that one, manages to whiff it. It's a Rosa roll, and he no-scopes as well. But it's the first round secured for Traditionals. And yeah, even a little bit of mocking from his teammates in chat there. Clearly the mental is on another level here for REY, but it's 8-1, that last remaining bit of hope for Traditionals here. I mean, we've been counting them out for too long now, but the money, it's not entirely dead in the water for them. If they won this, they could potentially start to mount a charge. The money is not perfect for REY, despite the 8 rounds in a row that they've managed to close out. And this is a really pivotal one. The cam is spotting up towards mid, and this looks like the first time that they've managed to take the space. Gingy playing a bit of an off angle, but he's not able to pick that one up. 5 versus 4. Traditionals not done with this game yet, and it's that A posture. They've got a perfect read, the Teho drone, to completely draw the players over here. Look at that spacing, 4 players all the way over towards B. But Traditionals aren't aware they're sat on A. If they aren't making any progress, you have to start going soon. But that fake has been entirely sold. All 5 players here for Traditionals. They even invest the Teho ult, but no one's home. And now it's a bit of a waste, isn't it? You wouldn't think it would be, because surely they're expecting someone to be on the A site, but now they're given free reign. They're even looking to take space over towards CT. This would have to be massive from Idol. Look at the Yoru clone. They're both walking together, but it's Hua who manages to win it out. Swung onto Duval there, and it's a bit of an awkward brawl over towards the CT side here. That flash turn, but it's not enough. Hua snappy with the shots. That Phantom shuts him out completely. 2 versus 4, and they've got to look to save that up, surely. Junjun, the last remaining player who's looking to fight, clears out that close angle, but that's not where they're playing. Time is ticking away on the bomb, and these players are tucked. So disciplined here. Gerby manages to find one. I say, cast a curse. So disciplined, but then everyone goes and fights each other. Smicklebear manages to take away that op, and it's not so clear-cut anymore. That 3rd round could definitely come out. It's Gingy who's been the top fragger here for REY Esports, who's unable to buy. He's being forced back onto that judge again, and Traditionals have started to take over economically. We saw it last game, a bit of a fake comeback in that one, but definitely they have a chance now going into that defensive side. They have a Cypher this time. They aren't limited by the composition in any way. And now they definitely still have a chance here. It's Gerby who's tossing that Roomba down towards A. Look at the omen of Duval. He's playing this so patiently, seemingly aware of Idol's positioning, and it's just a bit of a stalemate towards the mid side here. Duval picking up onto Idol, who's getting a bit too proactive. Gingy even tanking a good bit of damage, and if he wasn't weakened enough by having that judge in hand, now 56 HP is all that remains for him. The Viper, a lot to do if he wants to hold down this mid space, and a drone to assist him, so that's closed out by Smicklebear. Still that breach ult in hand here, and surely you have to be looking to favour Traditionals for this round. Gerby, the lone man with that operator over towards A, as it looks like that spike is transitioning over towards that part of the map there. Gingy tanking a little bit more damage, even 4 HP for him. And this is where it's going to be 30 seconds left on that clock. Gerby, the lone defender on the A site. And out comes the breach ult to clear him off that angle as well. He looks to get active, Gerby. 2 found for him. And that's Demolition. He's the only member of REY who looks to still want to close this out quickly. Double satchels in the no-scope to draw him off the punt, and that judge is coming in. It's found value. Only 4 HP for Gingy, but it's Junjun and him who look to close this one out. The time has got away from Traditionals, and Aaron is going to be forced to save out that gun. 9-2, and my, how the round can go so wrong when Gerby finds those 2 picks. That is individual brilliance, which we've seen this whole series from REY, but coming out in a big way to get them back up to 9 and stop that little momentum that Traditionals was beginning to build. They have to have a reset here, though, Traditionals. There's no real way for them to close this one out if they don't just forget about what's happened. They still have the guns. They still have a decent chance. Eren won off that REY ult, and he will have to be the one to step up, because at the moment, the Duelist 4 and 10, not the desired performance. And REY done a really good job of dealing with him and stopping him from getting the value which we're so used to him getting on T7 and even now on Traditionals. It's an awkward duel there as Jinji manages to fall off. Junjun and Gerby find 2, but it's actually Traditionals who come out at the lead. 3 versus 2 here, and are we looking at another 9-3 half? Again, this time potentially maybe with the curse. Swung left on the back of the site, and Hua, he's been the real shining star for Traditionals here. 10 and 9 with 6 assists. That Teho is his comfort role. And it's just a bit of utility jeweled out here. Junjun, he's looked really phenomenal this game. 12 and 3, but at an operator in hand, it's not the gun that you would like. Evens. Duval positioned up there and he shuts him out. It's another 9-3 back-to-back in the series. But this time, I ask you once again, Sean, do you believe in the curse?
I mean, last time it went to 12-3. Then they closed out. What will happen this time is up to REY. They've been, in all honesty, no hate. They've just been whiffing. That's all it's been. Whiff after whiff. Shots not connected by Junjun, Gerby, Jinji, Swung, Idol. All taking so much aggression, but just not landing the shots they did in, like, you know, the 9 rounds they won, basically. It's just been situations where they've missed their chances. And can't wait to cast this one out. Especially since it's forward towards this B with Cypher alone. Forced to take them on in a 1v4 here. Missiles used, breaking his trip. Already in the sight from Gerby. Landing a solid 62 damage here. Shorty shots barely missing. Force repositioning amazing, but being found. Smicklebay finding one. Eren finding another. Eren dropping down. Found by Junjun. Junjun with Spike. Idol. Junjun. Swung left alive. Two inside the tree. Planted. Will it be found? Junjun somehow getting away with the kill. Wow. Junjun on site. Swung finding one. Wow, finding one. Will he be able to close this round out for Traditionals? Taking the pistol. Idol. Almost on full HP here. Isn't connecting his shots. Forced to reload. Swung dead. Will he be able to kill Idol? Almost full HP. Classic versus Ghost. Oh my. Idol barely taking that gunfight. Just... oh wow. I couldn't even keep track of that round. It was just trade after trade after trade. A tree kill somehow from Junjun. It was just like a masterpiece from Traditionals almost, but just barely falling in a few fights. Just causes them to lose the pistol. Again, the 4th pistol.
Yeah, and it's Hua who's really been the savior for Traditionals here in this map. Looks so good on the Teho, the only one to really stand up and fight. It's actually Junjun who's AFK here, but REY haven't called a pause. So clearly, REY are happy to just play a 5 versus 4 here. They've won the pistol, they have the better guns, but this is not going to go in their favor as Duval and Smicklebear find it out. Idol's one to trade it back, but Eren, that Bucky in hand, as Junjun comes back. So he did buy, but I don't know, he's taken his dog out for a walk or, you know, something like that is happening and didn't fancy participating in the first 30 seconds of the round. But he's back now, he's here, he's with us, and potentially to the detriment of REY here. They're down in a 4 versus 2, and they're looking to be on the side of getting ecoed here. It's Gerby who's trapped him and a REY's nade left in a small area, and that's never where you want to be. Eren getting ticked down, that Bucky in the hand versus the rifle. This would need to be major from REY. The time is starting to trickle away from them, and Force. Surely not Junjun. I know Eren's on low HP. He manages to close that frag out, but the time is ticking away. You don't have enough time here, Junjun. You need to start getting a move on. He's faked it. That's unbelievable. He knows that those players have heard the rope, and now he's going to start walking back over towards the B site here. He's dropping in. That Roby's silent dropping, and he just has enough time here to get the bomb down. This would be massive if REY Esports were able to take away that eco round from Traditionals. They could really start to get back in this game. It's only 60 HP for him, but he does have the missiles. Vandal in hand, Espoir and Duval have been able to upgrade. They now have some better guns, but the time, they haven't started making their way over yet, but it's Junjun who's now going to be aware of that, and this is a bit of an off angle. This position is not necessarily going to be where they expect. Out come the missiles, but surely they're going to be able to see where that came from. They don't actually look. The smokes come in though. It's so disciplined, and Hua has managed to snap back and close that one out. And you know what? Traditionals didn't want the pistol because they're happy to pick up that second round and do major economic damage to REY Esports here. 2 guns saved for them, as well as taking them away from REY, who are now going to be forced onto an eco round. And this could be where Traditionals start to gain some momentum, some steam in the back pocket here, as they've given away the pistol, 4 pistols in fact across the series, but now they've picked up an eco round. And Split, we know it's not kind to the attackers here. REY potentially with a bit more than they bargained for to do left in this series. It's a fast-paced hit out from Gerby here as he scales all the way up towards that rafters position. Just a bit of util traded out, and Hua manages to find the first blood onto Jinji. Huge damage onto the REY players as Idol is left down on a very low HP. 10 in fact is the number, as he chooses to try and grab that orb. I believe he was successful. Yes, he was successful in that. As these players have sort of come to stall out a little bit here now. They don't really know how to proceed, and that's not what you want if you're REY. They look so good this series, like they knew exactly what they wanted the whole match. But now, Traditionals starting to fight back in a way that they weren't anticipating. And now they're making their way up towards that ramp position. Duval, a little bit of a jump peek with the teleport, but it's Smicklebear, Judge in hand, and that aftershock to clear away. Idol, Duval, a big shot, as well as Aaron, as they're able to keep a completely flawless round for the side of Traditionals.
I saw that, but Jinji ran in sight, knife out, jumping around. Just, I don't know what I saw, and I have to point it out. I don't know if it was just for fun because they're in eco, but I don't know what the play was there from Jinji. He's on a bit of a wild one this game.
Yeah, he's looked interesting for sure. I mean, we saw him just walking down mid quite often, but I mean, we hope that's not mental problems, because we know how influenced REY are by their mental. They look so good when they're happy, but when they're not, we don't often see. And now with Idol coming in, it's Smicklebear, Judge in hand, and they're walking straight into that mid trap that REY were setting themselves. A taste of their own medicine here, as damage and a pick found for Traditionals. All it'll be for REY is hurt and pain. They're not able to find anything over towards mid here. A little bit of a missed smoke though, and Smicklebear now is left a little bit vulnerable to that walk up. But wow, the gun round for REY, the guns were definitely in the favor of them coming into this round, but surely 10 isn't all they get. You'd like to hope that REY would be able to find a way back through. The comeback is well and truly on here for Traditionals, I should say. Actually, we see a report Viper in the chat. Junjun manages to find a pick onto Eren, and maybe I spoke too soon. Hua, happy to back me up. 3 found for him. Oh my goodness me. You shall not pass. Hua is Gandalf on the site there. Just shuts out all of the REY players, Vandal in hand, and he picks them off individually. Now forced back onto another eco round, and this is nearly 7 now for Traditionals. I mean, come on, they look to be back in this. And I asked you if you believed in the 9-3 curse, not once, but twice. The first time we didn't see it come into actuality, but now potentially we will be treated to it. REY.
Still win.
Sean, not biased in any way to how this game is going to go, and has full faith in Traditionals to win this one out. Swung, Sheriff in hand. What can he get done? It's Just the light shields, even a full shields for Idle here forced out, and a couple of sheriffs. You know, it's only pistols. But then you forget who you're watching, don't you? REY Esports are happy to do a lot with a little. Traditionals, they can't just let it go, you know, get casual with them. You got to remember you're playing against some seriously good opponents here. And if they want this comeback to happen, they need to stay aware of that. Hua looked so good in that previous round. But you need the rest of the team to come through and support him in the plays he's making if you want to carry this one through. Smicklebear is kind of walking around in the smoke. I'm not really sure what he's doing. REY, though, I'm sure what they're doing, and that's a heavy presence over towards top heaven there. 1-for-1 here, and Junjun, a big snap onto Hua there as now the numbers really turn the tide and start to go in the favor of REY. The gun's still not there for them, but they're starting to make this one look a lot more possible. It's that retake starting to come in through rafters first, and then CT. The Smicklebear only has a judge in hand, but out comes the stun. We know that's going to hit 2 players, but what they don't know is that Jinji is holding that long angle. He's going to be able to see the walkout. Surely Junjun shuts him out. He's the one with the rifle. 3 found for him before he's eventually traded out by Eren, and he's got a lot of work to do here. The 2 players left for the side of REY. It's Jinji who takes the first contact here, but he's not aware of the player walking around. In comes the Viper Molly to seal this one out, surely. Eren finds 3, but Traditionals are thwarted. REY, when it was starting to get a little bit hairy, Sean calmed the nerves and said REY is still going to win, and they seem to hear him. The 11th round picked up for them, and it's just 2 more to go. Traditionals are now tasked with a big challenge. Stop the momentum that REY Esports are starting to gather. The Euro ult is in hand. They're 1 off the Tehu ult. Junjun's looked fantastic this game. 20-9 performance for him. In fact, both of the Tehus have looked really phenomenal this game. That drone comes out to re-clear all of that space, and it won't actually spot anyone. Jinji happy to be the evasive snake and sneak away, but look at this. It's the REY ult that comes out. Another whiff. We've seen 2 Roses this game, but Smicklebear, that judge in hand, it's his gun of choice. 2 found for him as the numbers are now back in the favor of Traditionals. That first pick found for REY, but Duval, he finds another. It's a 4 versus 2, and the Omen ult's already been expended. Ouch. Jinji's not ready to close this one out. Why did I ever doubt him? He's starting to look towards heaven. A little bit of chip damage found onto Duval. Even the Viper Molly to dissuade him from taking any more space. But that time is starting to slowly trickle away here for REY. You need to get that bomb planted down. And it's Duval and Force who seem to have this B site locked up. It's just that CT control that they aren't aware of. This is a pivotal fight. Hua wins it out. Then Jinji, even the Dink finds, and he's phenomenal. Hua is the beacon of hope here. 19-11, and those 2 kills just purely win out the round. If he dies there, it's a hard one for Traditionals to retake. And even a P10, I believe that is a tech pause that's going to come through here. Sean, talk me through what's going on in this game.
I don't know. I actually don't know. Like, just, it's Hua. It is just Hua. He is one of the best, you could say, for the side of Traditionals there. Oh, well, looks like the round is... What?
It's a pause, anyway. We're paused, anyway.
I'm aware. On the side of Traditionals, though, not a very visible reason as to why. Yeah, as soon as everybody's in position, it's not the biggest deal. Okay, sweet. You go back. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
I'm just gonna check if everyone's ready here. Yeah. So we're back in now. A little bit of an awkward affair there, but it's REY who are on those eco guns. We had a small pause, but they're able to close this one out. It's a bit of an awkward duel though. The swung goes 1-for-1 with force. That flash comes through, but REY have managed to take all of that space, and we know that this B site is notoriously difficult to retake. I say notoriously difficult when you don't have a breach shell and a Tehuel in your back pocket, as they're able to completely shut out any danger that you would have expected. It's Kirby who's tucked right in this pocket. Surely this one isn't winnable. It's a little bit of an odd connection there as Duval manages to find that one out. And the Stinger doesn't close it out as cleanly as he would have wanted. 8 rounds secured for Traditionals here.
I can buy.
They're back in this game, well and truly. And Hua is now starting to take over. He's even ahead of Junjun, who's been the star for REY. These players are not used to defeat here. They play in some incredibly high-level tournaments that could see you a seed in Tier 2 qualification. And now, Traditionals, they've come out. They're fighting as if their tournament lives depend on it. Even though we're only in groups, they look so determined to win this one out, to prove to the big dogs that this is not a closed affair, not a done deal. That's awkward utility that starts to come out, but Idol wants to shut this out here and now. 3 for the round, and Junjun finds the 4th. It's Jinji as well as Idol who are looking to get proactive here, and he's the one to win it out. REY looked to be halted for a moment, and I was saying about the caliber, about what they're used to playing in, and they look to be the ones to start that march, to start that charge towards the end of this game. It's going to have to be a major effort from Traditionals. We've seen bigger comebacks, we've seen harder comebacks before, but you're playing against REY. You can't make a mistake. If you make a slip up, they are sure to capitalize on that. And it's the guns that are now sort of even. Smicklebear who opts for the Odin here, which will be interesting to see how that one plays out. They don't want to play it standard, they want to play it a bit ratty. And in fact, ratty is Smicklebear's middle name. Gerby shut down there. The numbers now back in the favor of Traditionals, but Idol, he wants his dinner. He wants to close this one out immediately. Jinji is also having dinner with him because it's the 3 versus 4 here, as they're able to get that plant in. 2 ultimates online, including that Viper's Pit, which has just come through. They have a beautiful position now. All of that heaven space is taken away, and even the Omen smoke to make this harder and harder. A fake teleport that doesn't net them any space. It's just that Odin that's starting to creep forward. The time is ticking away here though, and a round that looks so good for Traditionals is now at risk. It's just Twa who's the one who looks to fight back, but Junjun, he's the one who's trying to fight harder and better. It's going to be a monumental effort if Hua wants to win this one out. Jinji is staring him in the face, and it's a 13-8 defeat.
What did I say?
GG's well played.
Never doubted.
Of course.
Totally.
I never doubted you, Sean, but you know, you got to play for the storyline. I mean, come on.
That is true. No, I did actually
It would be
doubt for a good
boring.
period of that.
It would be boring if I sat there and went, oh yeah, REY are going to win, so I don't care anymore, you know?
You're not wrong.
Certainly, though, Traditionals, even if you weren't believing, made you start believe there. A match MVP performance from Hua, 22 and 13. He looked so good today, and certainly a notable player to look out for throughout this tournament. Traditionals didn't look completely down and out. Not in the first game, but especially not in this one. They really made it a fight, especially towards that attacking side for REY Esports. But wow. One that REY will be happy to have done.
Junjun and Hua, surely, right?
Mm.
Oh, well, Smickle, actually. No, I think we have
Is
to
this
take more
for-
after that 22-30.
Is this for interviews?
Yeah. You can
Yeah,
be the
okay.
question asker if you want.
I've just casted the whole series. You ask questions, bro. Come on.
Aw. Okay. I don't know what to think of. I'm pretty bad at the question part. Alright, let's get
I'll
Junjun
help
over
you.
here. Which one are we in? We're in just regular live, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Jun, my friend.
Oh my god.
You're the
You
interviewed
gave
one,
me.
if you can't guess.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Hello.
What's going through your head on that second map? That's all I have to ask.
In the start, we decided to do Junjun does push-ups every single time he dies. Because I ended up, I was like 10-0 or something, and we did
Yeah, you
we
are.
did a little practice drill for protect the president.
I saw that at the start. Was quite funny.
So that was initial thoughts, and then all of a sudden they started picking up rounds, and we were like still having to kind of like rethink because we've been just like playing as we pleased, not really putting too much thought into it. But as they started picking up rounds, I guess we came to like the conclusion that maybe we should like start actually doing something that feels more strategized than just running it down and
Yeah.
trusting our mechanics and stuff.
What was there a mental blockade in that game? Because I saw at least once on the side of Raid, Shinji just running into sight, knife out. I don't know what that was about. That was
We all didn't know what it was about. No one knew.
it was
I
interesting. And then the
that
report
was what we.
Viper to top it off, a little sprinkle on top.
Yeah. I think he said I can explain myself. The rest of us said no, and we moved on.
Fair enough. Well, yeah, there was definitely no explanation. I'll be honest. On the side, I watched it. Sadly, Cage didn't pick up on it, so I had to point it out the next round because I was just kind of shocked. It just kind of
So was I.
happened in front of me. I just kind of was like, wait, what is Gingy doing? Switch spectator, and he's just galloping through the site with his bubble pop knife out.
Yeah.
Interesting
No.
fella. First map, that was amazing. How did you just kind of only play strategically there? Because I saw you definitely played your default comp 100%.
Yeah. So we've been doing pretty good on the map fracture for with like since we started practicing it for Prem. So we were pretty happy going into the map and decided to pick it up because I had no problem like calling that one. And it felt like it's gonna be like pretty easy game for us going into fracture. So we started off strategically, but we had the idea on fracture that we did me and Gingy did 5 push-ups every round we lost.
Yeah,
So we also had the confidence moving into the map. Still a little bit of a troll mindset.
that's good
Um,
motivation though. So everybody else in the
yeah,
stream, take note of that. Do push-ups if you lose a round. For some people, that'll have a really good impact on their body. Might become the next Armstrong if they do it right. So yeah, thank you.
that's
If
the
you've
way to
got
say.
anything you wanna add to the stream, anything you wanna let people know, if you wanna, boast a little bit, go for it.
Don't need to. Just watch us win next game too.
Oh, okay. Okay, I see you, Junjun. All right, man. That's all I want from you.
All right,
Have a
appreciate
good
it.
one, man. Bye.
You too. Bye.
What do you think about that one? How that clearly it was actually a mental blockade from the side of Gingy there. Just it looks like it at least, because explanation or not, he kind of just ran it down in a weird way. Let's just call it that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it sounded about right because we know Ray don't like to play the game unless they have to. You know what I mean? They like to just go, let's just like go for kills and try and play for the clips. And then, he said, oh yeah, then we started to lose rounds. And it certainly looked like it because they looked a little bit more flustered. People seemed to group up and lock in a little bit more. And yeah, they managed to win that one out. But 13-8, Traditional's still a team to look out for if they're going to be able to pick up 18
Indeed.
rounds on the split against Ray.
Yeah, it's next. I need to really quickly find out who Huara actually is, because there's 2 people it realistically could be here, but I think Last Aramis is. Let's find out. Let's just drag one in and hope it's the right one.
Hey,
Hello.
wait.
You've been taken.
Yo.
Is
Oh,
this? How do you pronounce your name? If I've got the wrong person, you're going straight back. So sorry, but
if you're asking for Junior, the Jor guy, that's not me.
Is it not? Ah,
No, that's the last Ramos
I
guy.
guess wrong. You're Smickle.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
Smickle.
I'm gonna take him here. Thanks though. You had a good game
Ew,
too.
ew.
That is
GG.
GG's. Unfortunate. The wrong
We
graph.
lost the coin toss.
I know it was an unlucky coin toss, but let's move on now.
Happens.
It does happen. It does happen. Right, let's get the right one here now.
You can't always.
You're right. You can't always.
Yo,
Right, how to pronounce your name? Let me say it right.
Do I
Junior.
need to
I mean,
leave or?
Jor.
What? How?
Jor.
Jor. Yeah, nowhere near. We
Yeah.
chopped that one, so that's noted for the future.
We said Hua, like
Yeah.
like.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll just stick to Junior. I think it's a little bit easier anyway. Easiest pronunciation possible, if you don't mind. So,
Mm.
since I picked you as the MVP, because that 22-13, the shots you were hitting against, arguably, from every
Yeah.
people's point of view, the better team, and just the shots you were hitting. What was the difference between map 1 and 2 for you? Because it was quite the large difference.
I just logged in a little bit, I think.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
You could call it just a little bit, I guess. How was the mental throughout that map 1? Did it carry any negativity into map 2, or were you guys just clean slate, clean map, get back into it?
Nah, I just think that my team was under the weather a little bit. So it's like, it's just unlucky and it happens. But like, I
Yeah.
think next time our team is actually gonna do like way better than the C games. Because I know them and they're like really good players.
Yeah. Obviously, the side of you being a new player to traditionals, right? A lot of the roster
Yeah.
being pretty new in general.
Yeah.
How has the outside of Tony been going, scrims and everything?
Yeah, they've been going really well actually. That's why it's like this game was like a little bit of a surprise because like we underperformed, but like when it comes to scrims and shit like that, my team was like being like solid and shit.
Yeah. Well, what are we expecting from your next game? Obviously, if I'm not wrong, I'm pretty sure you did have another FF, meaning no matter what
Yeah.
here, you have qualified. I think alongside Ray, you were the two teams I'm pretty sure qualifying here. Unless somehow Innate wins against Ray, I'm pretty sure, then you should be the next team going through. What's kind of just going through your mind going into Swiss next?
Honestly, just like give it our best, no? Like just like try to win, go for the win.
Obviously, so it's got 8 groups, 2 teams coming in from each group. Only 8 will be left, so 1 will be knocked out. If Ray are going in alongside you, do you think both of you will make it out? Or do you think somehow one of you won't make it out of Swiss? Do you believe in Ray to make it out of Swiss this time around, basically?
I don't know. It's like you never know. Like honestly, I hope traditional like wins, but like yeah, I can't predict anything. Let's hope. I hope.
Hope is there. Hope is indeed there.
Yeah.
Well, you got anything to ask, Kidge? You wanna ask anything specific?
Just like a little something. Like often you see teams pick defense first because it's usually easier to play, and then you kind of have some more momentum. But like, how come you decided to go out and choose attack?
Because although we lost the first map and it was the map pick, as Fleet was our map pick, we just felt like really confident. So we said, okay, fuck it, bro. We're just gonna win this. So it doesn't
Mm.
matter what they do. That was just the mentality, basically. That's why we
Okay.
just picked attack.
Interesting. All right, cool. Thank you.
Thank you,
No problem.
Junior. Have a nice night, man.
Have a nice day.
Well played. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Well, now we're gonna try here. If he exists, he does not, sadly. So we are gonna have to skip out on taking Ray's coach. Meaning, I think since the crowd seems to want it, as in one person off of their team wants it, I think we'll take Erin here for the final interview. And you know what?
Yeah,
You start with
we
the
don't want to
questions.
steal too many of RCS's viewers by being cooler than them. So.
I know, sadly, they are on like double R's, but oh well.
Yeah, but you got to remember we're a co-stream, so
Yeah.
like
And we're taking
we're
only
just
barely
taking
half with no form of broadcasting stuff. Says
exactly.
something about our casting, the two of us, I think.
It's just because we're cooler than them.
Way
That's the only
cooler.
thing.
Right, let's drag Aaron then. Let's get one more going. You start off with the questions here. In 3, in 2, in 1.
Heard your
Aaron.
voice.
Hello,
Point taken,
Aaron.
Aaron.
Oh, hey guys, what's up?
We're doing player interviews, so we're just gonna do a couple of questions for you guys.
All right.
So obviously you guys had the 2 forfeits. So you're through. You're through with REY. Do you think that's affected in any way how ready and prepped you feel for playoffs now, or you don't really care? You're scrimming enough, and you don't really feel pressure in like a live scenario or like an official.
Honestly, like from the amount of tracking we've done as a team, like we've been constantly like thinking of strats, like strats, comps. We practice like every map anytime we can. I feel like going into playoffs we have a chance, and honestly, me and Force, like we guys didn't play our game today. We tried our best, but in the end, REY were the better team. I think if we all play our game like how we play in scrims, if we translate that into playoffs, we can like definitely do some damage.
For sure. So like another thing, like your timeouts. Like I know
Yep.
you guys don't have a coach. I'm correct in saying that? Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have our coach today. No.
Oh, but you do have one.
Yeah, we do have one. Yeah.
Okay. So do you reckon you took the timeouts kind of fairly late, when you were down like 0-6, rather than
Yep.
using them earlier to try and stop the momentum a bit faster. And
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes we saw like a pretty big change in how you'd play after the timeouts, and you often got rounds after you took a timeout. So what was the thinking behind taking them a little bit later rather than, down 4-0 or, anything like that?
I feel like if we took them a bit earlier, it would have kind of gave the opponents a more chance to think of other strats to counter what we're doing. So we decided to take it a bit later to like, because they're going to be like a bit settled in and be like, oh, we're up this much. Let's just keep on doing the same things. So we wanted to keep on letting them do the same things, and we just think of the strats then, and we counter that.
Okay, well, cool, interesting ideas. So you had Junior on your team who was the real standout on split. Do you guys often see like a difference in how you're playing, or you usually frag on like the same level? And today was just like an off day for some people.
Honestly, in scrims, Junior's more the quiet one in fragging. Like that guy is a support machine. But in the scrims today, he was aiming like this guy. Honestly, I felt like I was playing with a different Junior today.
Okay, awesome, man. Okay, well, I mean, well played to him. Also, just rather than going team, but on a personal level, REY did a really good job of closing out how effective you could be on the Rays. Is that often like something you deal with, or you're not used to being shut out like that? And do you think that was them playing very well, or you just having a bit of an off day?
Honestly, they countered me so well. Like normally when I play Rays, I'm like more like just executed. I just do whatever I do and it works. But REY clearly countered that and they just shot me down.
Okay, cool,
Gotta
man.
ask then, how are you gonna counter that obstacle? Because obviously, going into Swiss, all teams are gonna be kind of, generally similar level to REY, especially if you make it to playoffs. It's gonna be the top 8 in this tournament. So how are you gonna be able to get around that obstacle that other teams are most likely also able to shut you down on?
I just need to. That's a good question. I just need to change the way like my play style. Honestly, I think maybe more calm and composed and sit like laid back and relaxed instead of me and my like aggressive play style, I guess.
There are a few times on the defensive split where I saw obviously Gingy very aggressive, but
Yeah,
like, you were a little bit too wide. The drone was quite close to the wall. That can be something you could also come with Junior there. but then he just
Yep.
swung out, killed you that one time with the Phantom, got away free, didn't die. And it was just those
Yeah.
little things where just like a little too wide or a little too ahead. Or alternatively, Junior wasn't popping the util on the right timing. Obviously, we can't tell which one it is. And that's obviously
yeah.
something for your team to know. And obviously, the VOD will be published later. I'll send the link for the VOD too to everybody so you can see the game yourselves and look over what you actually can see the issues
Yeah.
are. But
Yeah, can I add something as well?
you can go ahead.
Yeah, we had to, honestly, like we had to like change up comps like for the last like 3 days because one of our main players, Stark, that guy he quit our team, and that kind of put us in a bad position.
Yeah.
So I had to take on the role as main duelist after that, and
I was gonna say I don't think you were the duelist originally. You might have
yeah,
been on T7 when I last saw you. I don't remember you being on the duelist. If it was T7, I think.
no, I didn't play RCS last season. I just joined.
All right. Well, I saw
Yeah,
you
I,
on some other team. I've heard of your name before.
yeah, I used to be a flex player, and then I had to like take in Stark's role and play duelist. And yeah, it's been not been going the best, but I'm doing my thing.
You're not doing bad either. So, I mean,
Mhm.
being forced onto that duelist and still performing arguably pretty decently is always a good sign for your team, especially for the future. Taking 8 rounds against, obviously, as you would know, and I've said this a junior, a team that I don't think many people expected you to beat, and you still put up a really good fight, a better fight than I think the other teams in this bracket already have. So
Wait,
that's
actually,
something. I'm pretty sure I think they had one FF game. Let me check for you now. REY Esports FF game there. Never mind, they've only had one game, but you performed. They do fight Innate next, and Innate can't qualify. Like I don't think physically round difference wise they can. So
okay.
unless they win against REY, that's the only way it could work out.
Alright.
Actually, no, you're up 6 points because your next game is FF'd. You're 100% through. I don't know what I'm on. I'm on crack, apparently. So,
Oh,
yeah, GG's to you guys. You're just fully through no matter what. So,
I hope that's
Please release
RCS
you,
approved
Swiss.
crack.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like the crack, like, where, like, yeah, So,
Yeah,
all good.
obviously. In GTA.
Yeah. Obviously. So, yeah. We'll be seeing you in Swiss, that means. So, good
Alright.
luck practicing until Swiss, since you don't have another game during this this group stage now. So
Yeah.
have a good one,
Alright,
Aaron.
thanks, Tess.
Thank
See
you.
you.
Bye bye. Kind of interesting, knowing that they now have no actual main duelist in play here, and they're still performing to that kind of great degree. Is
Yeah.
always just really impressive. So, always.
They spoke a lot about the scrims, and they sounded like they felt really, really good. So I think they've got to be doing a ridiculous amount of scrims if they've just picked up what's effectively a new role
Yeah.
for one of their players, and they got to be scrimming a lot, and that's always a good omen when you see a team that's willing to put in the work like that, and who showed promise against arguably the best team in the tournament.
Yeah. Whoa. I wouldn't go to that step anymore, sadly, actually. I do think
Who's
there is arguably a better team. A few.
who?
I can disclose this because it's a personal opinion. I
Okay.
do not believe
Well, you're
they
going to
would
do
beat
pick'ems at some point.
Horizon or tonight. Tonight,
Are you
Horizon
this?
Esports and The Last Resort, all three teams, I think, could stand a chance at beating REY in a 2-0. Their skill of peak rank alone, obviously, is what I'm basing this off of, with a full team of Radiants on one, 3 Radiants with pretty much the other one of the others being a Radiant, and TLR being another full Radiant team, just shows that they have that capability to also be able to sweep REY. Not saying they could,
Mm.
and I think TLR probably one of the least, since they have the least experience, since they were quite a newly through together team. But TLR already showing, let me double check now, a 13-1 against Unemployed into a very close 14-12 nonetheless, and then a 13-0 on Overlooked, not FF'd, into a 13-3 on Overlooked. Just kind of shows they're really, really strong. Like, realize not doing as well against Overlooked, and realized pretty sure just won a LAN tournament as well recently that I'm aware of in somewhere in Lithuania.
Yeah, but
I'm
come
pretty
on, they're
sure.
the reigning champions. They have aura.
Reigning champions.
This is their post. Also, I love Ollie, so I gotta stand
I do
up for
love
my
Ollie.
boy.
I have to love Ray for that, but I'm saying there are teams that actually stand a chance this time, like visibly.
For sure. For sure.
But
I mean,
I
even Athena Green in the last grand finals, that was like a really high ranked team, but they just got destroyed.
Athena are really bad. They're really bad. I need to say this. I was playing last season. I
say
13-9'd them with an Ascendant team, so
Oh.
2 13-9s. We lost obviously on the 9 side, but they're not a very good team. We don't bring Athena into this. Never again.
Well, there you go.
Anyway, what was that? Must have been the wind passing through, guys. Not to whoa, there's the wind. You can hear it. Yeah. Wow.
That concludes our interviews, and
Yeah.
we'll stop stealing all of our
I'm gonna
RCS's viewers.
Raid over to RCS now, I think, with these, so all of you can enjoy the V7 versus the Heaven game, which does look like it would actually be a closer game than the other that was just played, because V7 have scrimmed these guys before.
I can tell you it is 8-4 to V7 at the moment.
Yeah, they said they scrimmed them and that they were bad, but obviously, shizzle talk out of the way. I'm gonna begin this raid over now to RCS, and everybody go and enjoy that stream. Have a nice night.
Thank you
guys.
for joining
Bye-bye.
us, guys. Thank you for joining us.
GGs. Bye bye. 2 viewers ready to raid. 7, 9, 15, 18, 19, 20. That's about all of them. And raid. That means I'm gonna end my